Hey everybody, welcome to Gootz's Wrestling Pod. I am your host Ray Gootz, and Kyle, you're in New York. Is it winter over there?
Oh, it's been winter for a very long time. It's actually like 30 something degrees right now and it feels good. That's how cold it was for a while.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, it is. It has been 80 degrees for a year here. Life is good, and and I know it's not, but here it feels like spring, and it's spring Stampede '98. I know you're still in the winter, but in 1998, WCW was enjoying the spring. We're going to talk all about it, but first of all, let's talk about some big major current events. The big news is Roman Reigns has won the Royal Rumble,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's facing, I think, they haven't made an official graphic or anything, but if they don't do this match, they're fucking idiots. Unless The Rock has something to say. The match at WrestleMania will be, as of now, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the world title. I think it's great. I think that is a night two worthy main event. What do you have to say?
I mean, they sold me on Monday. I'll say that. I don't know if you watched it, but they did the
I
whole
still,
promo.
it was good.
Yeah. Because either one, I was like, I guess I'm fine. Like the way I saw it was going, it was either gonna be Roman Punk, Roman Drew, because they have a history. They have a lot of history. Or
But we
Cody went
But I will say we saw that match at WrestleMania 39. Not 39, I'm sorry.
35,
WrestleMania 35. Yeah, I was there. It wasn't that good.
yeah, I mean, you saw a recovering Roman Reigns and a still trying to figure it out Drew McIntyre. I feel like they would do a much better job now. Will it sell tickets? I don't know,
I
but they
don't
would
know.
do a much better job now. Or Cody Rhodes was gonna beat Drew McIntyre, and then you would have had the choice between either Cody or Roman. I mean, Cody or Punk.
I'll tell you what I think about Drew in a second, but I want to hear what you have to say about C Punk and
But no,
Roman.
I think the adding the personal business between them, the very real personal business between the two, what seems to be all of CM Punk's feuds in WWE, besides like Jey Uso and Gunther. I think that really helped. You like really can resonate with Roman Reigns because like that did happen. All that stuff did happen, and CM Punk is the reason that Roman Reigns had such a miserable because he was getting like not that big reaction. He was fine. And then once that podcast dropped, like everyone just turned on him. And that was his place for 5 years. He didn't have to get sick. He got sick. And then even coming back from getting sick, he was still getting booed because of the residuals from the podcast and whatever the writing was. So there's a lot of history there. I don't know how they're going to hold it off till April 18th. That's up for the brilliant creatives to decide, but I'm excited.
Yeah, that podcast, Roman Reigns. So nobody, let's break down what happened with Roman Reigns in 2014. They had the turn. Seth Rollins turned. Roman has the match at SummerSlam with Randy Orton, which is pretty good, and people are into it. And then Roman Reigns got injured, and he was at Caroline's while he was that injured. So I'm involved in this story now. And I remember he was advised by the agent and he was advised by his doctors not to stand. So when I took a photo, he's sitting, and I have the photo. Very nice
Mm,
guy, much nicer than Drew or Seth, by the way.
mm.
He's at this. By the way, it's him in the room at the same time. Goldust, Stardust, and him are
Oh,
all in
wow.
the showroom. Very nice guys. Both guys, Stardust, Gold, well, three guys, nicest guys that can be, nicest guys that can be. But Roman was advised not to stand, and this is when I knew that he's going to be like a huge star. Some little kid said to him, "Can you stand?" And even though he was in pain when he did it, he stood for kids and families.
Nice.
And I remember like the ringside guy telling me he's not supposed to stand. He's supposed to say, "I cannot stand." And he did it anyway. And I'm like, that is a champion. That is a guy
Yeah.
in charge of everything. And then the CM Punk podcast dropped,
It
and
was right around Thanksgiving.
right, it was Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was coming home because Caroline's used to be crazy busy on the Wednesdays before Thanksgiving, and I'm coming home, and that podcast drops. And at the end of that podcast, I was like, "Fuck Roman." I mean, CM. I don't know. See, because first of all, CM Punk, this whole thing was I didn't want him in the fucking Shield. I wanted Chris Hero. So in your mind,
Mm,
you're like, Chris Hero got fucked out of that position for this guy. And then the Roman make Roman look strong. You kind of already got an idea of where they're going in 2015, and you're like, well, no, I want Daniel Bryan to have a comeback because he got injured,
hmm
and I want this, and I want Damian Sandow. All like, there's all these people that we wanted, and you kind of got a sense from that podcast that we're not going to get it. We're going to get Roman, and a month later is the Royal Rumble, and I was at my friend's bar watching it. Everyone booed. WrestleMania, people were so happy. So people just completely turned on Roman for years. For years, people turned on Roman, and I do think that podcast is the main reason because the podcast was basically without Vince. It was CM Punk telling you what he knew Vince's mindset was. They're going Roman no matter what. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And we all tried to stop it, and we did it, but we were wrong to stop it because looking back, what I saw with him at Caroline's and what he's proven, he was the one. And I'll tell you, I got comps for TLC 2012, which was the first match, the first Shield
Yeah,
match, and I'm in the
yeah, I
front
was there.
row, Hot 97 getting comps. And I remember saying to Greg Charles, the publicist at Caroline's at the time, that he's going to be the next Hulk Hogan. When I saw Roman Reigns in person, this is my first time ever seeing him wrestle. I'm like, he's going to be the next Hulk Hogan. And he wasn't. He wasn't the next Hulk Hogan. He was the first Roman Reigns. But I was right. My first instinct was right. Vince McMahon was right. We were like everything about him was right. And what CM Punk did fuck up this guy's life for years. And I'm sure they're fine now. They're going to make a lot of money together, and everything worked out. But that podcast did fuck up Roman Reigns' life, and you cannot. You can be like, oh, this, that, and the third. No, people were on board Roman before that podcast dropped. I don't care what anyone says. I was, and I turned. I dealt with him as a human being, and then I turned on him because of CM Punk.
It's the power of CM Punk. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that podcast was. I mean, we'll also give credit to the writing and the wink and the magic beans and all that other nonsense they had him doing. But the
Mhm.
podcast was definitely one of the first shoe drops that you were like, oh, okay. Everyone's making them make Roman look strong memes, things that wouldn't be a normal occurrence on WWE TV is now, oh, look, Roman's looking strong because he's fighting Curtis Axel, something
Yeah.
like that. He just, everyone just rejected him for no matter what they did. He was rejected. If he was in the world title picture, the U.S. title picture, back with the Shield, like very rarely did he have moments where they were like, "We're actually going to cheer you," and when he did, it was very brief, and that podcast was a big part of it. So that adding that history to it and adding that actual like hatred, even is disowning, which I heard they took it off Netflix. The Zebros comment, which was great, is because like in Roman's mind, he's like, I tried, and you're still like an asshole. um, so I wonder, yeah, I wonder who the crowd's gonna go with. I kind of hope they keep Paul Heyman out of it, but I feel like he's gonna weasel his way back in some capacity.
There's going to be a twist, and I don't know if the twist is that Rock is the referee, or there's going to be a twist. It's not just going to be Punk Roman. I think
Mm.
the smart move is to do Punk Roman. I will say this is the last WrestleMania that these two guys can be the focus. Um, I've said this before, and this is the year. You know how Vince said, like, I'm going all the way with Shawn Michaels or I'm going all the way with Yokozuna in the past?
Mm.
This is the year they need to elect someone, my choice, Dominic Mysterio, and go all the way with them. Um, there, you can't keep waiting. I've heard rumors that Drew is going to fade Cody and Jacob.
Mm.
No, I think Cody and Jacob should have a match. I think, and this is nothing against Cody. I think Cody needs to have a year where he takes a step back. He can be in the main events next year. I think Drew needs to drop the belt to a new star. My choice would be Dominic Mysterio. They want to do Obafemi or Trick Williams. I'm not against it, but they need to call their shot with a new guy this year. And if they don't, I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean they gave Obafemi had a decent run, and then Brock Lesnar took him out very anticlimactically. And then Brock Lesnar went out anticlimactically, which was surprising to me.
That Rumble was booked horribly, by the way.
It was very oddly paced, both of them to me. I had no problem with the winners. I just was like, this is weird. All the big spots are kind of like not happening the way they should be happening. Like I thought Brock Lesnar went out in such a weird way. I thought he was gonna beat up Jey Uso when Jey Uso was like coming out to the ring. That's what I thought. I thought they were gonna keep Uso out and like Finn Balor was gonna like sneak in or something. But weird choices in the whole
Yeah,
Rumble. But I mean, yeah, you got Obafemi, you got Trick Williams, you got Dominic Mysterio. On the rise, they're probably not there yet. You got Carmelo Hayes and Breaker. They seem like they've taken a step back for whatever reason. But you've got five guys that within the next year, you hope one of them is 2-1 to 2 to all of them are help carrying your WrestleMania and your company, at least on the men's side, for the next 5 to 10 years.
yeah. The
Javon
thing about
Evans as well. Put him
yeah,
in there.
the thing about it is around this time. So like, I'll give Dominic and Braun Breaker are two great ones because they kind of debuted around the same time. And around this time, Edge is gearing up for a world title reign. In the same timeline, The Rock is already retired. He's proven everything. These guys have Dominic and Braun in particular. They've proven that they can hang with the big dogs and that they are the biggest dog. And it's like you can't keep waiting. And sooner or later, you have to say to the audience, I don't give a fuck. Dominic, Trick Williams, Braun Breaker, that's the guy. That's the guy. We love Roman, we love Cody, we love Punk, we love Seth. They bow down now to this guy. And that's how it goes. And the audience will accept it. I think
The
Triple H,
audience will accept it. I don't know if the wrestlers will accept it.
oh, you know what? Vince got him to accept it with other people. Vince said, I'm calling my shot. Hogan's the guy. And he was the guy. Hogan literally won the belt a month after he returned. He called the shot with Yokozuna. Everyone fell. People, you either fall in line or you can go to WCW. And that's the thing. It's like, Roman, you're not the guy. Dominic or Obafemi is the guy, and that's just it. You can still be a big part of the show, but we're going with Dominic. My thing is to go with Dominic. You can't have Dominic Mysterio beat John Cena and then do nothing for 4 months, which is what they're doing at this point.
And he's injured. He just came back from the injury.
He's back, and you need to do something with him right away. And you can't have people when you have people do big moments and then you just kind of like go away from it. It doesn't mean anything. And I
I
think a
mean
lot.
that yeah, that seems to have been one of their big problems in booking for 2 years now. I mean, you could go
Yeah,
back to the New Day. New Day has this big moment, does absolutely nothing. Bronson Reed beats Roman Reigns, does absolutely nothing.
yeah,
They just kind of let people. Io Sky beats Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Your two top, the women that are carrying the show for the next 5 to 10 years, does nothing. They just, I don't know what the deal is with them just kind of cooling off on people, but it's something they've been doing for a while now.
the thing about it is when you have, and I think this is why Hogan was very protective of his spot. But when Hogan lost to Goldberg, that was the sign. When Hogan loses to somebody, like he lost to Goldberg very decisively. Go back and rewatch that match.
Yeah,
That's the
I don't know.
sign this guy's going to be a big deal now. Now, if Hogan lost to Goldberg, and then Goldberg's not on TV for fucking 3 months after that match, that's not how you do it. When you have someone beat someone big or do something big, you've got to go with it. You've got to like, all right, that new day heel turns, for example, that should have been the signal that they're now main characters of the show. My
Mm.
opinion, they should have been John Cena's Hole and Nash. They weren't. Whatever. But it's like when you don't follow up on these moments, they don't mean anything.
No. And Kofi is a former world champion, which they tend to neglect. There's no reason why he couldn't have been in that like run with the Jey Uso. When Jey Uso's fighting Grayson Waller and Austin
Yeah,
Theory and
like
people who like, why is he not fighting someone who also knows how to make him look good, even if they lose? Knows how to make him look good, and someone like a Kofi Kingston or an Xavier Woods. Them, I was thinking about it the other day. You called them Hall and Nash just now. them being so fed up with the WWE fans booing them that they're ruining main event, like giving people a reason to boo. Like you get like a world title match and the New Day just interrupts it because they're like, you want to boo? Then we're gonna give you reasons to boo. He could have done it, but
Can you
it's
imagine? Can you imagine the New Day with John Cena instead of The Rock and Travis Scott?
yeah, you could have had. I wanted more people to want to curry favor. I mean, you don't want The Rock to be that main of a character, I guess. But like, if The Rock is looking at people and wants people's souls and wants people that will do stuff for him, there should be people trying to curry favor with the top brass, with The Rock doing these things. Even if John Cena doesn't ask for it, he's like, all right, the New Day just helped me out. Okay. Kofi doesn't like Randy Orton. He hates Randy Orton. So of course John Cena gets help from like Kofi Kingston, and then you have a new side feud there. There was just stuff that could be done, and there's probably reasons why they didn't do it, whether I like the reasons or not. But I felt like New Day could have done a lot more. It seemed like they thought Big E was gonna come back, so they did this thing, and then once they realized he's not coming back at all, they just kind of abandoned it and then had them just stick in the tag division, which is a shame because both guys are not only great tag wrestlers, but great singles wrestlers and believable wrestlers that fans would actually like enjoy matches watching.
Yeah, this is the thing. I get that sense. Like they do a lot of things where they think something's gonna happen, they don't. I kind of feel like I kind of feel like when they brought Daniel Bryan back. I kind of feel like Vince like set up that Sammy, Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon storyline, knowing he's gonna clear Daniel Bryan. He's not like let me start a storyline, but I don't know if Daniel Bryan's gonna be cleared or not. Like he kind of knew, and then they went full speed ahead with Daniel Bryan coming back in 2018. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's just like I feel like Triple H would have went ahead with the Shane Kevin Owens bullshit. And oh shit, Daniel Bryan's not cleared. Fuck. All right, well I guess Shane and Otis will fight Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on the pre-show. I didn't like. It's like no, you have to. I think Vince is like, you're coming back, right? I think they knew Daniel Bryan was coming back like 2 months before he came back, and he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great. I'm gonna keep going with this Shane Kevin Owens bullshit, and we're gonna make some fucking money, all of us. You know?
Yeah. Chad Gable Otis is another example. The storyline was hot and they couldn't decide that I guess they just did not want Otis to be one of their top guys. And they just kind of buried that storyline. I know a lot of people blame Sami Zayn for that Chad Gable not winning the Intercontinental Championship, which I don't think he needed to win the title, but you had a storyline with Chad Gable and Otis like in your hands that people wanted to see because they were invested in the character.
Yeah.
And you just no, you just they just don't do things sometimes.
I mean,
Like they
even
don't
Roman.
like they don't pivot.
Well, here's the other thing: Roman and CM Punk have never gotten revenge against Division, proper revenge.
No.
Like they never really got like satisfaction of what Seth and Paul Heyman did to them. Maybe like the Division will attack them next week, and they'll be like, "Fuck it, before a match, we got to work together." But
Yeah,
I
I could
kind of
do
feel
without
like,
that, but the Visions, like I like that's a group that I wanna like I get tired. Like I don't want to watch them. Braun Breaker, sure. And it's nothing against Bronson Reed as a wrestler or Braun Breaker. Austin Theory, Logan Paul, I could take or leave. But like the group just doesn't do anything. They're just like they're supposed to be like this big bad threatening group, and I don't buy them like at all.
yeah,
So I can't wait for this. I don't know how it's gonna end. I can't wait for it to end because I'm like this group sucks.
no, they suck. Hold on one second.
Hmm.
Hey, hold on. I'm sorry. You
Yeah.
fuck. Somebody sent me that Hulk Hogan's burning in hell. I'm like, what did he do to burn in hell? You fucking cunt. Explain it to me.
I mean, there's stuff that he did, but I'm not gonna get into that right now.
Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. You cunt. I'm blocking this guy. I can't. I can't argue with people while we're doing a podcast. Kyle, what are you doing to me? I
I
just,
didn't
I just
do
think
it.
like people try to equivalent what Hulk Hogan did to Chris Benoit, or like, and it's like he's not like that. I'm gonna block this guy. Sorry. Like,
No,
I'm
he
sorry.
did.
Like, you can't like Chris Benoit's burning in hell. Fucking Rock and Roll Buck Zumhofe, if he's dead, is burning in hell. Hulk Hogan's not burning in hell. He didn't murder anyone. He didn't molest children. Like, fuck.
We don't know where anybody is. Let's put it that way. but I'm not.
I
So
know we're
I'm not.
on the podcast. Let's.
I'm like, yeah, yes. I just mean in the afterlife. We don't know, hey, how strict those Bible rules are. Because if that's the case, we could all be burning in hell.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, if we go by what the Bible says, if you want to believe in heaven and hell, we're all going to burn in hell, right? I'm
Yeah,
being included. So we'll
yeah,
see how.
we're all screwed.
But I just hate it when people like I feel like people try to equivalent Hulk Hogan to Chris Benoit. And I'm like, no, you're not gonna do that. And this is why you lose every argument you start. Because it's like you're not gonna equivalent Hulk Hogan to Benoit. You're not gonna equivalent Hulk Hogan to Jeffrey Epstein. You're just not gonna do that. Does he
No,
have a lot of
he's
flaws?
not in the list, right? I mean, I haven't. I don't
No,
know.
he's not there. Does
No.
he have a lot of flaws? Yes. But don't fucking compare him to pedophiles and don't fucking compare him to child murderers.
Hmm.
Don't. Because then I can't take you seriously as a human being. You don't like how he wrestled? That's fine. You don't like the fact that he want to put over Billy Kidman in 2000? He was justified for that if we look back. But what I'm saying is, like, you don't want to think he's a good wrestler. You think he's a racist. That's fine. That doesn't equate him with a guy who fucking murdered his child. That doesn't equate him with a guy who sold kids for sex. The end.
No, that does not. I really did want Kidman to win back then, but
Well,
hindsight, I guess.
right. Well, okay. So here we go. Let's talk about Spring Stampede '98. Overall, I'm waiting for WCW to become bad. And it's coming. We all know it's coming. But like, I thought this was a pretty good show. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have much of an issue with it. I mean, the main matches are the main matches. Like, the Lugers, the Bulldog, those matches are what they are. But the undercard is always going to deliver when it comes to the guys like Ultimo, Booker T, Jericho, Benoit, all those guys. It's going, even Macho Man and Sting, it wasn't like a slog. I enjoyed it for the most part. And
Yeah.
Psychosis and La Park are on it in a one-on-one match that no one cared
Well,
about.
I'm going to
But
tell you about that match in a second.
but
Just give me one. I'm going to tell you about that match in a second. Give me 1 second.
mhm.
So, Kyle, a little known fact about the Goots. I watched this live on pay-per-view at my friend's house.
Mm.
Here's the crazy part. My friend does not remember me coming over and him ordering this. He remembers nothing. It's like it didn't happen. I We watched the first half of the show with his family, and you brought up, and I'll talk about this when we get to the match. When Psychosis and La Parka came out, my friend and me got annoyed. We are like, we just want to get to Hulk Hogan and Sting and Macho Man. Like, what is this bullshit? Looking
Yeah.
back now, it's enjoyable, but like, it's funny. Like, like we wanted Hogan and the crowd. You could hear the crowd when Hogan comes out. But then we had to go finish the show upstairs for the last three matches. He had a two-floor home. He doesn't remember. He doesn't remember that we watched this, and it's like something out of Total Recall because I'm like, remember this, remember that. And he had no recollection. It's like it's kind of funny how like if you have a good memory, it's almost like you live in your own world. Like this, us watching Spring Stampede '98, which is a great memory for me, doesn't exist for him. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, it happens to people. Some things you remember very vividly, it means a lot to you. And it meant a lot to them at the time, but whatever. Does he still watch wrestling or he's no longer watches wrestling?
No, he'll like watch old like he doesn't like anything after 93 he's not going to rewatch. He liked
Okay.
98 at the time, he's not going to rewatch 98. He has no interest in anything after 2000, like not like he's just not. So he'll go
Yeah.
back and like put on like when he had Peacock primetime wrestling from like 87,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's not going to watch like King of the Ring 94. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, I think just his also lack of liking pro wrestling as much, just kind of the memory just kind of fades.
Yeah.
But at least you still have that good memory. I have plenty of memories. I think I watched this show home because I was very happy to see Psychosis in La Parka. Psychosis was like literally my favorite WCW star. But so I remember watching it at home. I remember watching a lot of them at home. I always kind of equate it with like pizza because you'd get like pizza or something like that, like a Domino's or one of those. Pizza Hut, I think, wasn't really in Brooklyn anymore at the time. But you get your Domino's, you get your pizza. Sometimes I would talk on the phone with my friends watching it at home. Just good times. Things that are there. I won't say they don't exist anymore. Now people use Discord and things like that and watch together. But It's a different time.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I This was the first. The Royal Rumble this year was the first full wrestling pay-per-view I watched. I have another. I don't live with this one. My niece Marissa and her boyfriend David love wrestling, and I watched with them. And it was a very special thing to do. It wasn't a good show. It was a very special thing to do, but I definitely think like it changes over time. Like when I watched Royal Rumble '99, I was with my high school friends. We're talking about girls, and that's a special moment for me. Now,
Mm.
I'm gonna when I get to Royal Rumble '99, I'm gonna ask this same friend because we watched if he remembers, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. But it's like things change, you know. Like I remember when I first got the internet and cable. I didn't have the internet or cable until the year 2000, and I
Mm.
ordered all the WCW pay-per-views, and I would go like after Bash to Beach 2000, I'd go on message boards, and we'd all be complaining about the show. That is a special moment I can't replicate, you know.
I
And
mean, you just
people,
go to Twitter now.
well, it's so funny because people on Twitter actually don't believe people around that era like sat on the internet and complained about wrestling. I did more complaining about wrestling in 2000 than I ever had in my ever had before or after in my life. And
Yeah.
but it was special. It was special to sit on that message board for like 3 4 hours debating on what the Vince Russo, Hulk Hogan, Booker T bullshit meant. It was a special moment for me, and you're not going to
Hmm.
recreate it. And
No.
I think things change. I mean, we'll see where we are in like 20 years. I mean, I'll be in my 60s. Hopefully, I'm still not on Twitter yelling at JD from New York about how like Dominic actually should still be in the main event. But who's to
We'll,
say?
s- we'll see. Maybe there'll be a new medium that's around. I don't know. Maybe we'll be face to face now. We will
We'll be
teleport to each other.
I'll be sending telepathic messages
Oh my God. That's the last thing we need. You just get these telepathic messages of somebody complaining. Uh,
about AEW in 2046. That's what
it's
we
like
need.
Superman getting all the voices. He has to drown out and get like the good ones.
Yeah. But yeah, I've seen like reviews of this show and they're like it's not a good show or whatever.
Mm,
I think this is what I think people do with WCW. I think people review sometimes like this era of WCW with the knowledge of what happens in the year 2000. And yes, a lot of things on this show set up unwatchable garbage in 99 and 2000. I think you need to like take that out. I think when you watch a show like Spring Stampede, did I have fun for 3 hours? And my answer is fuck yes. And yeah, does the Hogan Nash thing will eventually lead to nowhere? Yeah, but the crowd's fucking loving it, and I'm having a
mm.
great time, and that's all that matters. Like we'll forget about 2000. Just take that out of your mind. Just live in '98, and if you live in '98, this is a really good show.
Yeah, I think one of the things about doing this podcast is we already know what happened. We know how things ended, so you can kind of take it for what it is. You can for me at least, I can accept the ref bumps a little more or like the plot twists a little more because I'm not watching week to week anymore. It's over. It's
Mhm.
over. I feel similar about like when I was really into Dragon Ball Z. I still love Dragon Ball Z. They would do the big episodes, Goku Frieza, the big fight, and then they'd be, oh, it's the Garlic Jr. saga. And you're like, I don't want to see this shit. I want to get back to like Trunks and all these other guys. And then now I can watch the Garlic Jr. It's almost like a break from everything. I'm like, okay, cool, Garlic Jr. saga, put it on. Let's watch this like campy storyline that you guys did for a little bit before we get back into the real action because it's done. It's done. But I think at the time people were so into what's next, Monday Night War, this, that. And if you're watching WCW every month, every day, every week actually, you're definitely getting tired of the bumps and the whatever other NWO drama that's going on.
And I will say the Wolfpack revitalized the NWO, and this certainly kicks off the Wolfpack. By the next pay per view, the Wolfpack is in the house.
Hmm.
Dude, there's still people. I don't know how it is in other states. I haven't. There's still people in New York that love the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack could have been a much bigger deal than it wound up being. The Wolfpack meant something,
It
and
did. People
I
really
think
liked it.
people wanted the Wolfpack to take out Hollywood, and that's how. So they could have salvaged. They fucked up Sting, but with the Wolfpack shit, they could have salvaged everything, but then that wound up being nothing too. And then they merged, and then it winds up to being nothing. So like you can watch the show and be like, well, the Wolfpack didn't do anything. But it's like, okay, but in the moment, we don't know that. And it's fucking cool. And the music's cool. And it's so funny how just turning the colors of the NWO logo to red, like fucking,
Yeah,
oh
you
my God, the
loved it.
world's over. So yeah, so like if you live in the moment, it's cool, you know?
I think also back then, at least in the writers, the Bischoff's mind and stuff, it was fighting to beat Raw. So if something wasn't working immediately, you have to pivot, you have to change, you have to do all this extra stuff on both sides to get to beat Raw or to beat Nitro. Instead of WCW just kind of running their race, they was all about beating Raw. So maybe if they ran their race a little better or a little slower and steady like the WWE did for a little while, they would have went back on top and stayed on top. But as we know, that's not what happened.
Not what happens. You know, it's so funny you bring that up because as we all know, the Mankind title win was taped. I knew about
Hmm.
the Mankind title win a week before it happened because I used to get the Pro Wrestling Torch.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that Bischoff booked the merger of the Wolfpack in Hollywood based on Mick Foley winning the title. I think if that Raw didn't have Mick Foley winning the title, I think they would have had Goldberg versus Kevin Nash with no finger poke of doom. I think he panicked and he's like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna merge the NWO and then Goldberg, which was the plan, everyone says, and I do believe it's the plan. Then Goldberg got injured, and then Goldberg is gonna chase the NWO. I think that was what his idea was, and you know, you should have done that. You should have kept the Wolfpack and Hollywood separate, and you know, had a war between both factions around like Super Bowl or something. You know,
Yeah. I mean, especially if Goldberg was hurt. I don't know how hurt. I can't remember how hurt Goldberg was
he
at
doesn't
the
get hurt
time.
until May, so
Okay, so he's still around.
yeah,
But
this is like 90.
yeah, the Wolfpack was still hot, so you didn't necessarily have to do that. But again, it was about the ratings and trying to beat the ratings and doing all that stuff. And he he went for that risk one too many times, and it backfired this time tremendously. And they never never get recovered.
It did a lot for McFoley. I think if they just ignored that Raw and did Goldberg versus Nash too on that Nitro, and let's say Kevin Nash wins again, it
Mm,
like you can even have Hogan interfere and cost Goldberg the match, right? I think
yeah,
they would have thrown the ratings that night. I really do. Because I was actually more invested in that Nitro than the Raw because I knew the results. But there's
yeah,
so perceptive factor. I was a very small percentage of the fan.
yeah,
I think most people did not know Mick Foley was winning the title. And when they heard that, Mick Foley meant a lot to a lot of people and they wanted to see that.
yeah. No, it was a good moment. They tried to bury it. Cactus Jack, he used to work for us. But the infamous I'll put butts in seats and all that, and it just showed the power of Mick Foley. Mick Foley is somebody that you liked Cactus Jack in WCW, you liked him in ECW. He went on the ride with Mankind. He almost died in June. So to see him rewarded with the world title is something that a lot of people resonated with, even if he didn't have it for long.
Yeah,
It was still just kind of like a moment. Um, and that's kind of what's missing. We don't have a lot of moments. I know Drew McIntyre just won the title like a month ago, but
that didn't mean.
for a company that I thought he was in his not hometown, but he was in his home
I mean, he's in Europe, yeah.
country, Europe.
I'll tell you,
But for a company that loves the moments, we don't really
yeah.
get them much on Raw and SmackDown.
Who's a guy you think people would like go nuts for winning the title in WWE right now? Like no one because Mick Foley wasn't expected. I'll be honest. And if you asked me in November '98, is Mick Foley ever going to win the world title? I would be like, no, but he'll always have a place in the world title scene.
Yeah,
So it was a very nice surprise that he won it so many times in '99. But who's a guy like that that like people would be like, this means something to me. I need to see it.
I think. Well, I mean, they didn't do it a couple weeks ago. I think Finn Balor.
You think Finn Balor?
In a week, they made it believable that Finn Balor could get an opportunity, win the match, and then even if it was only for a few weeks, the Royal Rumble used to have the world title matches. They don't have those anymore. They don't have both. They have either one or the other. But if Balor won it, there people have been watching Balor in the WWE since 2014, and then remember his rise in 2016, an unfortunate injury. So people would have been like, hell yeah, Finn Balor finally gets that like opportunity again because he hasn't done anything wrong. He's still a very consistent wrestler. He can be a great face. He can be a great heel. I think people would just be really excited to see that happen. I'm thinking only old people. Him, Shinsuke Nakamura, because people also wanted that for years, and could have happened last year too. Hard truth. R-Truth, if someone gave
It's
that
hard.
moment to R-Truth, like if R-Truth was like, I want to be a champion again, and you did a storyline and he actually becomes champion, even for like a week, I think people, especially R-Truth out of all three of them, people would be elated for him.
I think our truth's too close to Cole. I'll go to the other side and say that in AEW, if Orange Cassidy or Darby Allin won the world title, once they taped it and then they aired it, I think that would resonate with a lot of people, especially Orange
Yeah.
Cassidy. I'm not a big Orange Cassidy fan. I kind of feel like the gimmick has run its course. But if he won the belt, I think because it's so funny that like AEW's now been around a really long time. I
Yeah,
think
6 years.
that people would come back to see Orange or Darby win the belt. I think it would mean a lot.
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
Darby is still on the, eventually that's gonna happen and we're all gonna be really happy for him. I think whoever, if you like Darby Allin. His fans will be really happy for him. Orange Cassidy is someone I thought was gonna happen after he lost the TNT title because he showed that he can have like real matches. Be a comedy character, but he can have real matches and good matches. So I thought they were gonna put him in that, like maybe he's the one that dethroned the Death Riders, and they didn't do it. He got hurt too, but they didn't do it for whatever reason. I don't think that was ever the plan. But it's there's something about rewarding the people, the underdogs, the people that people really love and support, even if it's for a little bit. It's something about rewarding that and rewarding the fans for that, and fans remember that stuff, and they keep coming back.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. All right, so let's get into this show. Spring Stampede. It's in Colorado. They talk a lot about Colorado. They talk about the air, all this
Yeah,
bullshit.
they love the air there.
Yeah, they love like, oh, the air, the air, the air. But it's good points. I will say this is the first show I noticed that Tony and Bobby are annoyed by each other.
Hmm.
Did you notice that there was a few times where I almost feel like they're breaking character to show how annoyed they are with one another.
Yeah, I
They,
saw they were annoyed. I didn't know if that was
they don't like each other anymore. They stop like.
okay. Interesting. No, I knew that they didn't like each other after a while. Like, at least they kind of got sick of each other. I didn't know if that was in character or out of character.
It's no longer in character around this era, you know.
Okay.
So, but I do what I like about WCW, and I've said this in the past with Andrew Lee is I like the fact that they kind of attach themselves to real sports. Like Bobby Heenan mentions, there was a doubleheader earlier in the day, and today
Hmm.
we're gonna have a. I like because WWF doesn't really do that, but the way the announcers talk about real sports in WCW, it kind of feels like hey, like we're also like in this sports atmosphere, and I like how they do that. I like how they incorporate a lot about like the Colorado atmosphere and the altitude
Hmm.
and stuff. So I do kind of enjoy. They do that a lot on this show. What did you think of that? The way like they constantly refer to real sports and real
It's
sporting
like
activities.
it's like video game commentary. Not in a bad way, but they used to do stuff like that in the video games. No, it's a good touch. It's a nice touch. It just kind of reminds you that, hey, we're not in our own universe. It sounds like a shot, but it's not. We are in the same world with you. So, hey, we saw this thing happen today too. This is what's going on with us. Like the wrestlers are not like Booker T. Everyone, they're like Booker T is not used to the air here. So it's a lot of white people, so I wasn't that used to it. But it's just, yeah, it was a good touch.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the first match, and I think this was a surprise match. I think I announced at that time because Bobby Heenan was like, let's just let the crowd figure out what this match is.
Yeah.
Goldberg versus Saturn. Um, I enjoyed it a lot. Goldberg is still an experience. He's still doing things he shouldn't do. But you know what? It doesn't matter because he has the crowd in the palm of his hands. I'm watching this match, and Goldberg is still very new. He's still very raw. But Saturn is guiding him to it. The next night, when he fights Raven is my favorite Nitro match of all time. Um, it's my favorite non-WWE match until we get to TNA. Well, that's not that far, but it's my favorite Nitro match of all time. Raven makes him look like a fucking star. It is a really fun match. And I'm watching this match, and again, Goldberg, he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's just doing it anyway. The crowd's eating it up, and I'm like, it is crazy to me how they've been trying to downplay this guy for years because Triple H will tell you this guy stinks. A lot of people tell you this guy stinks, Goldberg. And it's like, here we are in April of 98. Goldberg is so much more over than Triple H. Goldberg matters so much more to the viewing audience than Triple H, and he doesn't even know what he's doing. But you don't need to know what you're doing when you have a connection with the audience. You can't teach the connection Goldberg has with the audience in this match. And is it the greatest match in the world? No, but everyone, and I'm including Kidman, and I'm including the other flock members, everyone does their job. Terrific opener, and it sets up my favorite Nitro match of all time, the next night, Raven versus Goldberg. What did you think?
I mean, it's the time when Goldberg's on a generational run. They've tried to replicate this, and it still hasn't worked. So
Mhm.
it's a testament to Goldberg. It's you can nitpick the wrestling style of Goldberg in this match. I mean, he's wrestling Saturn. It's hard to screw up. You can nitpick it, but everyone was there for a spear and jackhammer. So once he hit those multiple spears, multiple members of the flock, that's what you wanted to see. That's what they got, and it was fine. It wasn't. No one's watching Goldberg do figure fours. That's not what anyone came to see. They wanted to see him.
Tried it though. He tried leg lock.
He
Tried
did.
leg
He did. That wasn't his repertoire for a bit. He tried to. I mean, he did what you wanted him to do. I mean, that's you heard the pop when he came out. I think Goldberg's post wrestling career is what kind of derails him because he's somebody who speaks his mind, whether you agree with him or not. And just he looked at wrestling very negatively for a while, especially after working with WWE the first time. Again, whether you agree with him or not. But I think that's the stuff that in fans' minds, and especially Triple H's mind and all these other wrestlers, that like lowers him on the scale of like accomplishments, which like that's not entirely fair. Like in the ring, not in the ring. When it was 1998, there was almost nobody hotter than Goldberg. Like yeah, it was Austin Goldberg. They were right there. It's one and two, and this coming from somebody who does not like him in the in the slightest. I don't like him. I don't like him. Liked him in '98. Tuned in to to beat Hogan. Skipped over, but you just can't deny him in 1998. You can't do it.
You can't teach this. You can't teach it.
No.
He has a connection. And I think guys like people want to shit on guys like him, guys like Sid. Those are the two ones that come to mind. And you watch the old 89 Sid matches, the crowd loves Sid. They want Sid. They need Sid. And it's like, and Warrior. Warrior's the same thing. I needed
Yeah.
Warrior. I
Yeah. I
needed,
love the Warrior.
I need him right now. But what I'm saying is
Well,
like,
I don't know about that.
you can't, Sting is the same way. Those are four guys. You can't teach that. That's not something you can be taught. And to be jealous or to be like, well, it doesn't. I've heard Arn Anderson be like, well, if Warrior went into WCW, we would have exposed him in like 12 seconds, like in like Jim Crockett. And I'm like, well, then you'd be fucking idiots because Ultimate Warrior is still making money for TKO to this fucking day. So you'd be
Yeah.
pretty fucking stupid to chase the guy at the company 2 months in, you fucking idiot. That's why Jim Crockett is fucking. He's had to go sell ice cream in the 90s
That
while
sucks.
yeah, it's just like, bro, he had a connection with me that you didn't have, and you're a great worker, and and it's so annoying, and I feel like even now, like, I feel like now if someone connect like Goldberg did, Triple H, or I don't even blame Tony Khan. I think the people below Tony Khan would do whatever they can to diminish that connection.
I mean,
To
you could say it happened with Wardlow. The combination of both of them.
It happened with
Uh,
Hook, Ian Played.
and Hook, yeah. I remember Wardlow. I'm not gonna bring up the fucking Bear Country match again, but I was just like, why is this guy wrestling him for 10 minutes? Wardlow should have been a Powerbomb Symphony guy. Leave the same way he beat MJF. That's what he should have been doing on the path to the world title. And if the world title match is a little harder, fine. but then you get your Powerbomb Symphony, and then you've made this guy. I don't remember who the champion was at the time, but you made this guy, and you could that they're starting it right now at Obafemi. He just destroyed the fight War Raiders, having 8 different names. Destroyed the War Raiders, which shocked me. Apparently, the War Raiders like helped train him, so that was why people were like, cool. But they're starting that with Obafemi, and you can do it with Femi. You can do it. People will be into it. He just can't like lose to fucking Julius Creed. You know, they'll disrespect
Yeah.
Julius Creed.
Or when Obi Femi gets fucking his hands on Drew McIntyre, you can't have him like fucking get beat up for most of the match. Like
Yeah.
so, but yeah, but anyway, that's a good match. Next up, we get Booker T. Oh, sorry, we don't get that. We get fucking Chavo versus Ultimo Dragon. Great match. Ultimo is almost out of this company. It's shocking me because Ultimo is such a WCW guy. He's only there for like 2 years. But to me, it's
Mm.
like, would you build if you made like a fucking poster of all the top WCW guys, he'd be there for me. Um, Match is good. Match is very, very good. But to me, the highlight is Eddie. Eddie is doing so much character work on the outside, and he's doing so much work for Chavito and stuff. A lot of fun. The match ends. Ultimo wins. He taps out. Eddie is pissed at Chavo. Chavo tells him, "I'm not going to cheat to win." You know, this I was invested in this in '98, and I think it's even more impressive now. Eddie Guerrero's character work even back then is terrific. I thought I really enjoyed this. What did you think?
This is my favorite Eddie Guerrero with the cheat to win, the favorite wrestler, do it for grandma. So I was all over this storyline. I was all about it. Good match. Hard to they said it on commentary. Chavo was only wrestling full time for 2 years at that point, which
Yeah,
is just like, oh my God. I feel like I've been watching Chavo Guerrero from when I was born, which is not entirely true, but he just has been around forever. So for him to only be doing that for 2 years at that point is very impressive. Ultimo Dragon can't go wrong unless you're WWE 2003. And just a good time. I mean, again, he leaves, but he's also like very popular in Mexico and Japan. So him leaving WCW, while a blow for us who like to watch him at that time, not a blow to him. He did just fine.
yeah,
He
yeah,
also like recovered from some injuries and stuff.
yeah. No, this it was fine. I enjoyed this match. Up next, we have Booker T versus Chris Benoit. This is a classic series. This goes not just in WCW, but also carries on to the SmackDown era. Um, it was good. It wasn't great. I do think Booker T is still a little bit nervous about being a single superstar. You know, he was a tag team wrestler for so long. I think sometimes it's hard to transition to singles because as a tag team wrestler, you have a break period. You have a
Hmm.
period where you stand on the apron and do your thing. Even if it's just for like a minute, that's still like a rest that you can take. As a singles wrestler, you can't take that break. So I still kind of feel like apprehension on Booker T's side. However, the match was very good. It's these guys are going to get better together. There is a world where Booker T and Chris Benoit should have been fighting for the world title, but unfortunately, Kevin Sullivan happened, Vince Russo happened, and the murder of children happened. So it didn't
Hmm.
happen. But
Yeah.
these guys have a best of seven series in WWE, which
Yeah.
I which is cool, and we'll get to that one day. But I like the match. There's a weird ref bump. Booker T wins. They have more matches in the company. I thought it was good. What did you think?
Yeah, this is another one of their just not in the best of, but just another series of matches. I remember when watching, I was just getting annoyed that Benoit lost so many of these because my brother was a big Benoit fan, not anymore, obviously, and I was a big Benoit fan, not anymore. But it was just watching at the time, you're just like, how do you keep losing? And this one was a ref bump version, but you wanted to see at least some more variety of like Benoit winning some more of these matches, and he didn't. But it was a good match. Uh, can't go wrong with those two in the ring. And yeah, they do it again in WWE because like, Randy Orton gets involved for a little bit at some point because like Booker T's
Yeah,
hurt,
that was weird. I remember that.
and
Yeah.
then like there's like a weird period where Randy Orton just had nothing to do as a character. I think was in trouble backstage or something. So they just gave him like a disciplinary storyline. But yeah,
Yeah,
another the first three matches, you're hitting strong.
yeah, pretty good. Up next, the worst match on the show by far. Nothing comes close. British Bulldog versus Kurt Hennig. I don't know. I don't know what has happened to this fucking. November, this guy was having good matches, and I'm talking about Davey Boy Smith. He is. I don't know. Did he just inject every drug ever made January 1st, 1998? He is a fucking shell of himself. It's not even 6 months later. This guy can barely wrestle. This match is horrible. Jim Neidhart. This is a case of these guys didn't need to be there. They should have just stayed in WWE. I can see a different path where Bulldog and Jim Neidhart are feuding with Steve Austin if they don't leave, or they're feuding with DX. They're in the Nation with Owen Hart. There was no reason for them to come here. WCW did them no favors. And quite frankly, I think the reason why they went there, I'm going to say it, no one's ever said it, I'm going to say it, is that WCW didn't have a drug policy the way WWE did. And both him and Jim Neidhart were able to cut loose on the drug use. Certainly, British Bulldog has done. If you don't think British Bulldog increases drug use after Survivor Series '97, you're out of your fucking mind. This is not the same guy that was at Survivor Series '97. This match is an abomination. Kurt Hennig also is not what he was, but this is a fucking abomination. And the fact that these two guys are such great workers, they've had classic matches in WWE. They've killed it all over the AWA, wherever you want to go, and they have a match this fucking bad. They both should be fucking ashamed of themselves. Because even Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper, who can barely move, have a better match than this. What did you think?
Jeez. I mean, well, I'm not gonna speculate any drug use, but it was disappointing. Yeah, this is I was just gonna stick to the wrestling part. It was they had this is like a super tape match, like 1991. If you saw this on a super
It's not
tape,
bad, bro. This is like they're really
you're
bad too.
yeah, you're like, hell yeah. 7 years later, life happened and they're not as good anymore, at least at this time. And it's very unfortunate. I think in Bulldog's case, maybe they got more money or they thought like DX was just gonna screw him over if they were still there. Like it just wasn't worth it to go. So you're just gonna get money and coast and chill out. But no, it's just not what you expect from either person, and it's short, but it's noticeable.
Yeah, it's not good,
Mm.
and everyone should be ashamed. These are four legends, Hall of Famers, and they
All of
should.
them are no longer with us, which is crazy. I just thought about
Yeah,
it.
you know what? Bischoff should have came on a shotgun and murdered them after this match.
It's not that bad. Not even
And
not that
I
bad.
just, you know what it is? Because it's like all four guys are better than this.
No, I agree. We've seen
You're
them better
better,
than this.
bro. Like Bulldog and Jim Neidhart were the fucking. These four guys were like the workers. Like they ran circles around Hogan and Piper back in the not even like 5 years ago. I'm sorry, not even like maybe, but like and Hogan and Piper are out. They're out moving you. They're out working you. They're like fucking. They're running around like they're fucking 20 years old. They could barely and they can barely move as it is, and they're way better than the four of you. And you guys are supposed to be the generation that replaced them. It's embarrassing.
They were checked out. They were especially checked out this month.
And no Bret Hart again.
It
It
was the
was
weather. It was the Colorado weather, like they
he
said,
couldn't handle
which is
it.
what the air is what messed them up.
There was no reason. There was no reason to. The only thing that happened when Bret Hart got signed was his life was ruined. There was no reason.
Yeah, I don't know why Bret Hart's not here. They do mention him. He tries to go for a sharpshooter.
Just stay in WWE. We have no plans for you. A fucking waste of time.
I mean, I think he wanted to stay in WWE. That wasn't his call.
No, he would have. If they said we have no contract for you, he just would have stayed in WWE. He would have had to take less money. Unless you want to go to ECW or Memphis, or New Japan. But all right. Up next, Fritz Iakea versus Chris Jericho. Jericho's been on a fucking hot streak until this match. Not his fault. Prince Iakea just doesn't have it, and this is kind of like his last big opportunity. Again, Chris Jericho has made Rey Mysterio look great, Juventud look great, Dean Malenko. He gave Dean Malenko his personality. in the last match, and Prince Ikea, he just doesn't have it. He's a bum, and he stinks. And he gets a little bit of a push in 2000, but the guy just doesn't have it, and it's over. But
The
it's not the
artist.
worst match in the world. But Jericho's on a hot streak, and this guy like fucking just this guy doesn't do Jericho any favors. What did you think?
It's a downgrade from the other matches, Jericho, Rey Mysterio. I mean, Juventud, Rey Mysterio. Prince Iaukea, I never really saw anything in. Even when I was younger, I was just like, who is this guy? I don't even think he ever made a game. He might have made one. He might have made Revenge. I can't remember. But it was just he was just kind of there. I just never really saw it in him, saw it for him. Never really wanted to watch him. So this match just was what it was for me.
Yeah. So the next match is Buff Bagwell and
He
Scott Steiner.
retired in 2015. He wrestled till 2015. Where the hell was he?
I guess the indie. I mean,
Prince like
like I could see him in two. I could see like people wanting his autograph in like 2000, even like 2005. Like, oh my God, it's Prince Ikea, you know?
I'm sure I would if he went to a WrestleCon or two, so people would have flipped out for him.
I mean, if he's at character select, are you gonna not say hi to him?
I would no, of course I would. I'd be like, oh, cool, he's here. I
Be like,
don't have anything else for him. He didn't even make the cut for the He got released before they bought the company.
yeah.
That
I mean,
sucks. They would have hired him.
I don't think so. He just has nothing. He has nothing to offer. I think there's some WCW like also rans that didn't get a chance, but I think
Hmm.
people like Mike Sanders, Mark Jindrak, Reno, uh, uh, uh,
Reno.
well, Johnny the Bull got a little bit of a push. Johnny the Bull, Scotty Riggs. I think all these guys have more to offer than Prince Ikea, the WWE after, and they didn't get a chance.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you had Scotty, you had the FBI. They even took Samboli, Johnny the Bull, away from the FBI for a bit, try to give him a nice little singles push that never
Yeah,
materialized. And then he found his way as a relic for a while,
I
in
definitely Johnny
TNA.
the Bull. I think they should have done Vito and Johnny the Bull as tag team in
It seemed
WWE.
like a fucking no-brainer, but whatever. I think they
But
didn't
it's
have
so funny.
Vito for a while.
It's so funny that they kept the FBI going, but then it was like Johnny the like they merged the Mama Luke's and the Natural Born Thrillers, and I think it was funny. I don't know. Mike Sanders is a guy I think should have got more.
He's a
I think he
stand-up now, isn't he?
barely. I've never. He says he does. I've never seen him booked anywhere.
Well,
Um,
well, find him. Book him.
dude, you know what? Mike Sanders should take John Callis' place in AEW. I said what I said.
I
There you
mean,
go.
AEW, WWE needs a new GM for NXT. I
Yeah,
don't think anybody would care,
Mike
but
Sanders is one of the most underrated Mike guys I think in the history of the business. That's a guy that should have been like he should be in Adam Pearce's position right now. I'm not even joking. I fuck with Mike Sanders a lot. So,
somebody must have just not liked him.
probably he kind of looks like I don't know he doesn't look like a wrestler. But all right, up next we got a lot of time. Listen, we got a lot of time to talk
Yeah,
about
there's a lot before Mike Sanders
before
shows
Mike
up.
Sanders shows up in WCW. All right, up next, Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner versus Lex Luger and Rick Steiner. There's a big segment with JJ Dillon, which continues my theory that JJ had his contract. He has to be on TV.
I think you're right because I didn't notice it until this one.
He slowly goes on and on about Buff Bagwell. The match is very short. Luger apologizes. Apologizes. Luger should apologize to me. Luger makes Bagwell submit the torture rack. Got I think that this match was a bait and switch. They wanted to make people think they were gonna give them a Steiner clash, but they knew they had to milk it for a few more pay-per-views. So they had JJ Dillon come out. They didn't really do anything. It's basically like we're eventually gonna get to Scott and Rick, but not yet. By the way, they never really do. I do think that there is a in on an alternate reality, Scott and Rick have an incredible match together, but they never do it. They they never do it, and it is what it is. But yeah, it is what it is. I think all this just damages Luger. What did you think?
I just was there, they didn't do the match that you wanted to do. Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, just kind of a way to get everyone on the card. Buff Bagwell on the card, Rick Steiner on the card. Rich and Scott, they never. I don't know how WCW did their house shows. Did they ever fight on house shows? Maybe test that out. I don't know. But yeah, it's just kind of there. It's just more delaying the inevitable with
Yeah.
those two.
All right, now here we go. So at the time, and I'm saying in '98 when I'm watching this live, this match hits, and me and my friend are annoyed because we know we want Hogan, we want Savage, we want Nash, and now here comes two luchadors. And now in '98, I'm like, oh, I love the fact that I get to see Psychosis on pay-per-view. But back then, we were like, just get the fucking Hulk Hogan. And I kind of get the sense that the crowd feels the same because these guys get nothing. Uh, I think the match is pretty good. I'm looking at a review right now online that says the match is bad. I don't agree with that. I think you don't know what wrestling is. You think this is a bad match. I just think this match is put in a bad position
Yeah.
for the live crowd and for the live viewer. We want to get to the three top matches. And the longer this goes, in our head, we know the less time for Hogan, Sting, and DDP. Like we just know it. But now it's fine. I kind of think they did these guys no favor putting in this position back then. What did you think?
No, I don't think they did them any favors either. Was very excited to have this match. I remember the feud that I talked about last month. They had a little mini feud going, and if you really cared about these guys, you noticed it. The Parker would turn on Psychosis. Psychosis played the babyface role, like which is a rare role for him. I don't know why the Parker wasn't the face. People loved him, but whatever. Uh, Psychosis is playing the face, so Parker's playing the heel. They're getting involved in each other's matches. Like it was like they had a nice little feud. It just wasn't advertised. And when you're ready for Hogan and you just saw Luger and all these other, you're starting to see the big guy. You're like, all right, well, we got through our Jerichos, our Booker T's, our Benoit's, all these guys. Now we're gonna get Hogan, Sting, Nash, all that, and you get Psychosis and La Parka, even for 6 minutes. If you're not a big fan of the cruiserweights, you're like, I don't care about this. So did them no favors. The match is a little clunky. They do, but outside of that, I still love seeing them. I will never be upset seeing these two wrestle each other, but that's just me. But yeah, I agree with you. They did them no favors. No matter what they did, the crowd was just not going to care for them.
No, it was not the right time to put them. Maybe at the start of the show, different.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
it's like you didn't tell us about this. We want to get the Hogan.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next though is a match that I think this is Hulk Hogan's best match since Rodman. It's I was shocked how good this match was. It's Piper Giant versus Hogan Nash. Nash now has beef with Hogan. That has started since Uncensored. They're not getting along, but they're working together on this match. The Giant has recruited Piper to get revenge on Nash for what's been going on the last few months since Starcade. Um, I did not expect a lot out of this match, but I thought this was a really good match. The crowd is on fire for this. Hogan is
Hmm.
moving, Nash is moving. There's some things that don't make sense, like Hogan hitting Nash with the bat. I guess like they were like we gotta like forward the wolfpac movement and stuff. But Hogan and Nash do win at the end. It's so funny. Like everyone gets hit with the bat full force, and then when Hogan's hit with the bat, like they go in like slow motion to hit him. It's so funny like how that happens. But I thought this was a good match. The crowd was into it. You know, it's so funny. Like you're like, oh, the NWO is like garbage after Starcade. Then you watch this match and people were still into it. I think people are into it because I think they thought Nash was going to turn on Hogan and beat the shit out of
Yeah.
him. I kind of think that was the move to do, was for Nash to just fucking like turn on Hogan. They didn't do it. What they do works for a while, but no, not the long term. I enjoyed this match. This is again, like I said, this is the most fun I've had in a Hogan match in a long time because he's been having some fucking stinkers. What did you think?
I know it's fine. I mean, I don't really, care for Hogan. But they did a good job with the match. The bat was definitely used. They went for the bat like right away. But the bat was used well. I also thought Nash was gonna turn on Hogan. I didn't think Hogan was gonna hit him again afterwards. Because I was just like, what? What is the point of that? But yeah, they did a good job. I think everyone did a good job in this match. And like you said, the crowd really wants something to happen with this NWO. Whether it's Hogan turning on Nash, Nash turning on Hogan, they're ready for the fight. They're ready for the split. So this was just another way of just kind of teasing that. And I guess saving a big moment for Nitro, since back then it was also about we need to beat Vince in the ratings, so we'll just do the bigger moment on Nitro. I don't remember what happened that next Nitro. You can't watch it anywhere, but I don't remember what happened on that
Well, the next
Nitro.
time I show Goldberg wins the belt.
Well, yes, that I mean between the NWO.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't remember what happened,
and
but
I saw it live.
hey, at least you remember the Goldberg part. But yeah, they were still building to that. I think they break up. I don't know. I'd have to
They
find
break
it.
up before the Wolfpac forms before Slamboree.
Yeah, so it's coming. So it was just another seed plant of something that people really wanted. But you could have had something happen at the pay-per-view. And they come back in the end, so maybe that's why they didn't do it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. Up next, I gotta say, so like I pull up reviews of these shows while we talk to just
Hmm.
like remind myself of what happens. And I'm reading this guy. Have you ever heard of a guy called Scott Keith? He's been around for like years.
Yeah, I've seen his post. He's pretty negative usually, right?
Yeah, he's shitting all over this show and this match, and I'm like, the problem with wrestling criticism, the problem with like wrestling, it's funny, but like 'cause you don't have this problem in any other medium. I think wrestling criticism and wrestling discourse has been dominated by people who don't understand wrestling. Because this guy has a huge following. He's shitting all over most of this show, including this match. He calls everyone who's into Hogan Piper idiots, and they don't know what they're doing. And it's like, no, they're no, no, no. WCW sold out the building, and people are into Hogan Piper. That means Hogan Piper are doing the right thing like like WCW eventually fucks up, but it's like it's just like to shit on this match. You don't understand wrestling. I think like Meltzer and a lot of these other people who claim are experts don't understand wrestling because I thought this was a great match. This was very similar to the Benoit match last month, but a little bit more calm. Raven wins with when Horace Boulder interferes, Hogan's nephew. It's his debut, and as we know, Horace Hogan,
Wait, did you
takes
just
the
jump
Bulldog.
into the other match? I thought you were talking about them getting mad at the Hogan match.
Oh no, I'm talking about. He also shits on this match. He says this is
Okay,
bad.
all right. So just kind of he's just
I
shitting
thought
on a lot of things.
he shits on everything.
Okay.
Everything sucks according to him on this show, and that you shouldn't watch it. Skip it. And he wrote this review a year ago, which is
All
like, all right,
right.
so you've been watching wrestling this many years, you don't understand this is a good show. Okay, good. Um, this match is pretty good. I'm talking about Raven DDP.
Yes.
There's a lot of props, a lot of like bullshit. Is it as good as last month? No. But I will tell you, man, I will tell you because Hogan controls all this. The fact that Hogan let this match happen after his match, I think that says a lot about how he saw not just DDP but Raven back then. Because he could have said, brother, my match is second to last. That's what I'm gonna do. But the fact that he's like, okay, I'll go down the card and we'll let Raven and DDP have time to shine. I think that's a
Mhm.
lot, and these guys earn it. Again, another great DDP match on the show. What did you think?
No, I thought this was a good match. I think in the terms, let's go back to the Hogan part real quick. Look, as I said before, I'm not a big Hogan fan, but it's people don't like to hear this. It is you can look at Psychosis and La Parka, and you can look at Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Big Show or the Giant and Roddy Piper. When you have that psychology and you know what you're doing, you can have the crowd in the palm of your hands. You don't need the flips. And I like flips. I like Hostess, I just said, was my favorite WCW guy. It is a perfect example of like, hey, here's what they can do. And also they got the hype and the storyline promotion. But here's what they can do with their time. Here's what these guys can do with their time. This is a story that's being told. This is a story that is just kind of filling time and trying to get the fans into it with flips. So you got to give them some credit there that they know what they're doing, especially since people want to see them. And as talented as Psychosis and La Parka are, people did not want to see them that night. Moving back to DDP Raven, what happened?
DDP and Raven.
Yeah, DDP Raving. That's another one. Of course, still plunder, still a lot of plunder. They did a good job. Fans were really into it. Fans still really into DDP. The flock getting involved. DDP, you think beats everybody. I didn't know what that was, and then it looked like Horace, but I was like, I didn't remember how Horace Hogan got into WCW. I thought he was just yeah, I thought he just showed up in the NWO one day. But and then you have now you have the extra caveat that hey, Raven won the title. Will he be able to beat Goldberg tomorrow? Obviously not. But now you have a reason for people to tune in because nobody wanted to see DDP lose to Goldberg yet. Does happen eventually, but not yet. It wasn't the time.
Yeah, and Raven again. I'm gonna stand by this, and I'll fucking Raven Goldberg, my favorite Nitro match of all time. Top Nitro match.
I
Um,
haven't seen it in a while, but I'll take
well,
your
do
word
you
for it.
think I just realized I'm like giving Hogan all his credit? Do you think Hogan was cool with this match going after his match because his nephew debuted?
Maybe. Also, he needed to cool off before the Sting match.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
needed a buffer in between. Maybe he didn't think it'd be that good. He like let them do their stupid plunder stuff, and and then it was good. But he's still on top. Like there was no threat to his spot. Obviously, Raven didn't end up fighting Macho Man at Slamboree.
That would have been a great match.
Yeah, I would have liked to see it, but
All right, up next. Well, we'll talk about it. Up next, Sting versus Randy Savage. Um, I think the thing that this match is okay. Crowd's into it. Nash interferes and Savage wins the belt. I think the thing that most impressed me about this match, including at the time, was that it was very clear that the Sting experiment is over. They didn't even let it. They didn't even give it time to breathe. Sting gets the belt back one more time for 45 minutes on a Nitro 99. He never gets near the belt again. Um,
didn't he turn heel with the belt once, or he's not heel when he's the champion?
but wait, he does get the belt. He does get the belt. He turns heel and beats Hogan in 90 in the end of 99. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. But like he I I would have done this like in July or August, this finish. I would have seen what can we do with Sting as a top guy for a little bit. It just feels like they're giving up on Sting. Maybe they're blaming him for the fact that because at this point they've lost in the ratings to McMahon Austin. Maybe they're blaming him. I don't
Hmm.
know. It's kind of dumb. But the next night you asked me what happened the next night. Savage and Hogan fight and Hogan wins the belt back. And
Hmm.
that's kind of the moment where everything fractures, where where Savage goes to the Wolfpack. And because Bret Hart interferes and costs Savage the belt,
Ah,
and
so when Brett turns heel,
Bret turns heel tomorrow night. Yeah.
the
Um,
DDT or something.
yeah, and then like
Yeah.
between Bret Hart and Hogan and Savage and this, that, and the third, Sting is an odd man out, and then he joins the Wolfpack. Uh,
Oh.
the match was okay. It's not the greatest. I again, I don't disagree with Savage getting the belt. I would have waited till the summer, but it just feels like you're not even giving Sting a chance to breathe. To me, it's like having Cody Rhodes lose the belt at like King of the Ring after WrestleMania.
So a
Like
lot of people wanted.
what?
So a lot of people wanted. People couldn't wait for him to lose that title.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just I would have let it breathe. But anyway, it was okay. What did you think of the main event?
It was fine. I mean, Miss Elizabeth taking a bump. Good for her. Good on her.
Man, she never takes a bump. That was a big
Yeah,
bump.
yeah. I was surprised to see that. Outside of that, it was there for the NWO shenanigans, and you got them. You got Nash on one side. You got Hogan on the other side. Sting. I mean, you can compare Sting to Adam Page. He's one of those people. He gets the title, and then for whatever reason, they just don't go a long run with him. I don't know if it's the crowd would rather see him chase, or just the management gets cold feet,
I honestly
or
think
or the ratings.
I honestly think it was in McMahon Austin. They
Yeah.
wanted Crazy on Nitro to beat McMahon Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Sting wasn't doing it. They can't. I was around, but I wasn't looking at the ratings. So they took it away from him. And is it fair? No, but we got what we got. If you had the title from December, you would have been more receptive to this. But you did all this dumb shit from December to February, so now he only has a 2 month reign.
Yeah, it honestly makes me sick, and I'm gonna call the police on everyone involved. So, you know,
Well, a lot of them are not here anymore, so you don't have to do that.
all right. I guess I'm not gonna do that. So let's uh let's go over the next 4 weeks. Overall, I say watch this show if you can find it. If you can find it, what do you think?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a good show, especially if you like the undercard, if you like people like Raven, DDP. If you want to see another win for Macho Man or Liz take a bump, check it out. If you want to see the Bulldog and Kurt Hennig disappoint you, you can check that out too.
Oh wow, I found someone uploaded Hogan versus Big Show in 2007 in
Oh,
Memphis,
that like yeah, that weird ass match.
and it's incredible. What a I love that Big Show took a year off and he only wrestled Hogan in Memphis, and it looks like something. It looks like these guys like got transported to the '80s. So Hogan and Big Show look like Hogan and Big Show from 2007. The audience looks like they're from 1983. I
That's
don't know,
crazy.
and it's 2007. It's fucking wild. All right, let's review the next 4 weeks. Next week, it's Unforgiven '98. It is Dude Love versus Steve Austin and the Inferno match. Undertaker versus your best friend Kane. In
Oh
two
boy.
weeks, we're gonna find a way to do this. I'm committed. WrestlePalooza '98, Shane Douglas versus Al Snow. In 3 weeks, Slamboree '98, Sting and the Giant versus the Outsiders. That's the main event.
Hmm.
In 4 weeks, Over the Edge in honor of Owen Hart. It's a countdown. Over the Edge
Don't
'98.
say that. You're so close to ending this
But he's
without.
on the show. He does fall on Over the Edge '99. Hogan. Shit. Again, Steve Austin versus Dude Love. This time with Vince McMahon as the referee. What are you looking forward to?
I'm gonna go with Slamboree. I mean, we know the big moment that happens there and with the cruiserweights. So I'll be excited to see that again. And then not excited for that tag match, but let's see what else happens on the show.
Yeah, should be interesting. All right, guys. That is the show. You have anything to plug, Kyle?
Character select is all over February and early March. You got this Saturday, the 21st, 28th, and March 7th. So plenty of opportunities to catch character select comedy at the stand.
Yeah. And I will tell you guys if you want to support the podcast, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, give up all your personal information to show your love to the Goots.
That
Great
is
Goots
happening now.
Comedy, Goots' Wrestling Pod on Instagram, and yeah, we're this is my favorite year, man. You know, I'm kind of glad what happened because it's fun watching these WCW shows without commercial breaks.
Hmm.
Uh, it really makes them a lot better. And again, this is my favorite year. I love this year, so I'm glad that we're talking about it.
It's a good year.
It's a good year. '98's a good year. There was no ice to ruin everyone's life. All right, guys,
No, not at all.
that's the
Fuck.
podcast. We will see you next time. Thank you so much.